Beautiful rainy morning. Just got done body surfing. Dropped Cassie off. Drinking not plain fucking water, because why would I drink something that doesn't taste magical or nourish me in any way, shape, or form? Wanted to touch base and revisit a topic I talked about a while ago. It keeps coming up. And it has to deal because I don't think people realize what I'm saying. When you outsource when you outsource to all these other professions that are going in and everybody's saying the same thing. Symptoms are the body's way of healing, are the body's sign of healing. And everybody's saying the same shit. And everybody's sending me accounts where these people are saying the same thing. It's so great to see people catching on. Everyone's saying the same thing, and then they'll go ahead and perform some procedure, something that is the exact opposite of symptoms are the body's way of healing. Get out of the way. They will throw supplements at altered labs. They will give an adjustment. They will give a massage. They will do acupuncture. They will do body work. They will do Reiki. They will do all the different things going in, not honoring what they're just talking about, which is everything the body is feeling, every process the body goes through is an adaptive response to keep you here, heal you from whatever you've existed, whatever you've experienced in your environment. But we have people trying to play both sides, trying to do both things. You can't have both stories be true. So here's what happens when you experience, let's stay in my world. I'll let Cassie deal with it, and she's got a doozy coming on the deeper medical side of things and all the labels that everybody's calling incurable and the impossibles. Okay. So, you experience damage to tissues. We know the cause of all injuries. You experience damage, you have tightness, you have swelling, you have inflammation, you have pain, you have herniated disc, you have arthritic joint, you have lockdown muscle, you have fear apprehension around movements you once could do no problem. So now you go and you seek out because you just don't know, or I don't know, some other reason, but you go to a professional, a licensed, credentialed, whatever. And they go ahead and show you x-rays, and they run some scan, and they run some nerve thing, and they run some temperature test, and they take posture pics, and they take x-rays, and they take lab panels, and they do imaging and all this other things. And they go ahead and perform their specialty. And all of it is to fix you. All of it is to fix your labs. All of it is to have you feeling better. All of it is to balance your misaligned spine, or your hips that shifted, or the arches of your feet, or joint position, or swelling of an ankle, or measurement of an angle of a joint moving on a past a certain degree. They will go ahead and perform some procedure. Tight muscle, massage it. Injured joint, ice it, boot it. Give some corrective exercise to a specific joint, boom. Curved spines, those are the cute ones. A subluxated spine, as if that even means anything. They'll go in and perform a procedure, all to have you immediately changed from their input, immediately changed or fixed or feeling better. Well, here's the deal. If you walk out of there and you're immediately changed and you feel better and they fixed you, that might buy you some time. Sometimes it buys you a day. Sometimes it buys you 3 months. Sometimes it buys you a year, 3 years. But here's the deal with the body. Because every response is an adaptive, intelligent, healing response to keep you here, and what they did was go in and stop that. A shifted spine was an adaptive response. A misaligned pelvis was an adaptive response. A splinted muscle was an adaptive response. Scar tissue was an adaptive response. Inflammation, swelling, pain, the bone spur, the herniated disc, those are adaptive responses. When they go ahead and get rid of those, you just stepped in the way of the body's healing response and the whole process that it had you in mind to keep you here and have you learning from your ways and change everything about how you're living to thrive to a level higher than just existing. So now here's what happens. The body will keep that score. You think you just won because you have a team of specialists that are all out for your well-being, and they have papers on the wall to prove it. Now all of a sudden the body goes, wait, I threw that swelling there. I had you feeling depressed and uncertain. I had you with fear and apprehension. I had you with a splinted low back. I had you with a guarded. I layered up scar tissue. I needed you to go through a whole bunch of processes and a whole list of steps, and I needed you to feel everything, and I needed you to change, and I needed you to go through and have the discipline to completely alter everything about how you've been living up to this point, because how you had wasn't keeping us here thriving. It was threatening us. Because you chose a way out, you chose this life preserver, you chose to cheat the system, then all of a sudden it comes back with a vengeance, it seems, to balance the score, to settle the score, and have you go through exactly what you were supposed to go through when you first had damage in the first place. Only now, you're months or years down the line, no longer near that event that created the scenario in the first place, and so now you appear flawed, or you appear like something's off, or man, this is so odd. It's chronic ankle, it's chronic shoulder, it's my trick knee, it's this. And so now all of a sudden, because your practitioners also aren't around, nor will they even tell you, because they either don't know or they know and they just have to try to pay off their student loans selling more lie. But it's hard because the real-time scenario isn't there anymore. You're still going to have to go through every step of the process, even something as simple as a rolled ankle. You roll your ankle, you boot it, you splint it, you do all this trickery to do all these things to make it feel better. Pain goes away, therefore you're healed, right? No symptom, you're good. Well, then all of a sudden, because all the tricks you did to bail you out and instantaneously get you to feel better, function better for the immediate, at the expense of long term, now down the line, your body's gonna have to go through it again. And you're gonna have to go through all the steps, including the emotions tied to injury, like the depression, like the anger, like the fear, like the apprehension, like the uncertainty, like the doubt, like the disbelief. Comes with all of it. It's supposed to be there. I went through it 5 times this year. 5 injuries. Healed them all. Doing what? My shit. What's my shit? Principles that have been here since the existence of man. But each one carried the emotions tied with it, and carried me having to alter my life and change some of the things I like to do that I earned to do through my training. Had to modify how I would do activities for leisure. Had to modify my lifestyle. Had to change it. Had to apply certain things, take away certain things. So again, all the steps necessary for the healing, the struggle, the time it takes to heal, the events that you go through, the feelings that you have. I mean, shit, even the people you're hanging out with, nourishment you crave, sleep changes, all the things. They're supposed to be there, preparing you for something even greater down the line. But when we choose a bailout with all these professions there, claiming that all symptoms are healing, and then going in and fixing you by subduing said symptoms, basically getting in the way of the healing process, you don't stop the body, but you just delay it. And how long you delay it, completely up to you. But the body will always keep score for every single thing. Now think about it. Think about those people that have you believing that your feelings are pathology. In that fucking world of psychiatry, you go through an event, you have an appropriate feeling, because all the feelings are appropriate, every single one of them, and you take meds, or you do Zoloft, or you do fucking Seroquel, or you do whatever, or you do behavior modification, or you do all this shit, and then 11 years later you got to go through the events exactly in the order that the body wanted. Only now it's 11 years later from the event that happened in the first place. Now you're going through an appropriate response of the event from 11 years ago. Only now you look like a weirdo because the event's no longer there. What's wrong with that person? Nothing's ever wrong with us, ever, ever, ever. There's nothing dysfunctional about the body. It never attacks itself. It never gets in the way of itself. It's never confused. It's never autoimmune. It's never flawed. It's never genetically predisposed. It's not any of that. Every single thing is an intelligent step to keep you here, To what level you stay here is completely up to you. But remember this, for every professional you employ, there is no certification, license, or degree that holds truth. None. Because the truth would never exist in a licensed program, would never exist in a degree. It can't. There's no way that the program would exist because we wouldn't need it. So I need you to understand, there is no profession in health with a name that you need that's selling you truth. But every time you choose a bailout, now sometimes you people will justify. What I was feeling was so great I couldn't sleep. What I was feeling was I needed to get through this period of time. That's fine. You have the choice and you will pay for every choice you make. You just have to understand, with that score being kept, if you choose a bailout, like a massage to feel better because you had a splinted low back, tight this, tight that, or you had a scenario where you chose to go to a chiropractor for some ungodly reason, or you chose to go to an acupuncturist, you chose to go to, and they made you feel better, and you slept through the night for that time, or you went through, just understand, the body's going to come back calling, and you're going to have to go through that night's sleep that you were supposed to experience. So just remember that. Whatever you choose to do does not go unnoticed. And for every time you try to break a principle or a law, the balance and the score will be settled. And that's cool. It's not the body hurting you, hating you, this. It's just the balance of everything around you. And it's the design. So that's cool. Just acknowledge that and understand that. No professions would say that, because they wouldn't be a profession if they let you believe that. And they maybe just don't even know. Nice, beautiful, rainy day. All right, kids, body always keeps score. It's here for you. Every single process, every single feeling you have, every single sensation you have is to keep you here, is to instruct you, is to talk to you, so that you can go ahead and make these changes to keep you here thriving at a level higher than what you were before. And with every injury, if you stay in my world, every injury is an opportunity to level up, not just reduce pain, not just to control the steady decline as you go through life. It's to show you where you could be better. It's to show you where you could improve. And then you go ahead and put those inputs into a level greater than anything you've ever experienced in your life, to an emotion greater than anything you could ever encounter that's ever damaged you in the past, that you will ever encounter. When you do this, the body automatically elevates. Automatically. Has to. It's what it does. As certain as a cut on your skin heals, is exactly the input that you have when you put yourself into a position of, through movement, to prepare yourself to manage the forces of your life, independent of anything around you. There is no training that will exist in a building. There is no training that will exist only if certain machine and equipment are present. There is no training that will have a special name. There is no training that will be called rehab. There is no physical therapy. There's no occupational therapy. There is no functional this. There is no yoga. There is no Pilates. There is just preparing your body to manage the forces of life through movement from toes to thumbs. Now, the variable, the forces of your life and who you are every time you enter it. Body keeps score. Never, ever forget that.